Welcome back. This is season 2, episode 2 of the ChilliChump podcast. And today I am joined by a very special guest, Kangstarr. Kangstarr, welcome back. It's been a long time since we've had a proper chat. I actually can't remember. I think it must have been, at least 2 years ago, probably a bit longer.
Yeah.
Time just seems to be going by way too quickly. But how you keeping, my friend?
I'm doing great, keeping busy, two young children, man, every weekend there's something. So I'm scaling back quite a bit. My projects are slowing down. I'm trying to do crossbreeding, but that's kind of like a challenge right now.
A
The
lot of work
hydroponics,
doing that.
yeah, definitely. The hydroponic work that I've done in the past, I want to continue to do some of those, kind of like study it a little bit more, kind of dial things in. I saw that you're doing some of those stuff too, and I'm really interested to see what you're doing.
It's creating some challenges. That'll be the next episode I do on the hydroponics, or the Hydro Wars, as the series I'm calling it.
Nice.
As the weather's improving, it's kind of working a little too well. I underestimated the size of everything. It's becoming very difficult to manage things. It's always the case. I think you must do this as well, where you just underestimate how big they get. You know how big they get because you do this every year, but
Yeah.
you still, at the beginning of that season, you think, it won't get that big. We've got these small little plants; they'll be fine. We'll just take up that space over there, and then suddenly, 3 months later, it's taking over everything. And that's just it's so much worse with hydroponics. And at the
Yeah.
moment, I mean, I'm running 3 different systems. So are you following that series? I know you're a
I
busy man.
am. I've watched it. Yeah.
So I'm running DWC, which is a first for me. I haven't really done that before in the past. I'm running my old favorite, the ebb and flood, or flood and drain system,
Mm-hmm.
which I know that inside out, and I love it. And then I'm also using NFT,
Mm-hmm.
which is very interesting. I love the idea of it. The
Mm-hmm.
DWC is just so good.
Yeah.
It's insanely good, and to a point that all my plants just keep falling over. As soon as I've finished supporting them, I come back a week later and I need to readjust everything. It's hard work, and the problem I have now is the root system is just getting so big. So I built out that DWC system. It's all interconnected. So DWC, you obviously got little bubblers inside each of these small pots.
Mm-hmm.
They're all interconnected with a float valve, so the water can flow in, and it keeps it topped up, because I
Mm-hmm.
knew that they would get quite big and it would be difficult to get to the base of the plants to actually
Mm-hmm.
water them or keep them topped up. So I've put that in place. The problem is the root system's got so big, it's actually holding up the float valve. So it's just flooding out. If I fill up my reservoir to fill up the pots, it
Mm-hmm.
just floods out. So now I have to try and figure out, how do I do this? Because I can't pick the plants up without damaging them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know exactly what you mean, because I did some in my grow tent, and the 4x4 grow tent. When the plants are small, you're like, oh, you know what? I can fit a few of these in here. And then once they started to grow, one plant just took up the whole entire thing. And
it's
so,
insane.
with my 5 gallon bucket, it just keeps having to be refilled so often, because the plant just gets so overwhelmingly large, and it just keeps drinking everything, and it becomes more work than I really wanted to do.
And that's the problem. That's the issue I have with hydroponics. I mean, it'll be probably one of the things I bring up at the end of the season, because I'll be talking about the 3 different systems, the pros and cons. And one of the things, hydroponics is meant to be easy, right? It might be a bit more
Hmm.
difficult to set up and get it all started, but it should be relatively easy.
Hmm.
Ebb and flood is pretty straightforward. Once you get that started, it actually is pretty easy.
Hmm.
This DWC, it's too good. It's crazy, but yeah, I do have some ideas. I underestimated it massively, and I'm having problems now. I don't know how I'm going to move things. I need another greenhouse, I think. But my wife will kill me. Uh, so I wanted to ask you about something. You've done something that I think a lot of us dream about doing, and we did actually speak about it the last time we had a conversation, I think on the live stream, where you now have a farm. And I've also
Yes.
just seen your channel. You're as bad as me with promoting yourself, because I didn't know you had the farm channel. But
Yes.
I've just subscribed to it, so I'll be checking out some of the videos. I looked at your intro; it looks like a lovely space. How much land is it?
It's 26 acres. I'm not sure what's
Wow.
translate to.
Yeah, no acres. So
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
1.5 acres. I'm a whole 1.5 over here.
Yeah.
So it's the size of your parking lot, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty big space. Right now, I'm only taking a small section out of the whole thing to try to do, a lot of experiments. I'm starting with fruit trees right now, doing all kinds of stuff, and then on the other sections, uh, I kind of like put wires for the animals, and we're trying, kind of like I don't really know much about this, but regenerative farming, you kind of like do everything naturally. And so we don't
It's
spray
not
for
the easy
weeds
way, I
and
can
all
tell
that
you
stuff.
that much.
Yeah, definitely. It's harder than I thought, because it's just so much space for me coming from a backyard garden to something this big. And so there's a lot of learning. I mean, I'm talking to people all the time, and speaking to my neighbors, trying things myself, spending a lot of money just to do experiments, and of course a lot of them failed.
It's not easy. From my situation, living in the UK. I mean, we'll talk about that because obviously I grew up on a farm back in South Africa, and I've been around farms all my life, so it's like in my blood, which is why I always knew I'd end up on one again. But when I came to the UK, the first house I had, tiny backyard, like a postage stamp backyard, really small. The one where I started my YouTube channel, again, that was probably about 30 feet long. Wasn't very big. It's just a small backyard. Um, I started with that, and then I moved out. We had a little bit of a bigger property, and then the one before we were in now was 3/4 of an acre, and then where we are now, an acre and a half. And I think that's about the limit. I'm a guy, right? And I think we all just want bigger and bigger, property. I think it's just built into us. But I don't think I could manage more than this. This is a full time job. You know,
Yeah.
it's absolutely a full time job for us, and we do everything we can to try and streamline the whole process and optimize it, because I want to be able to spend time with my wife, and that's not something we get to do because
Yeah.
it's either making videos for the channel, it's actually looking after the chilies. People seem to forget, when they look at your YouTube videos, that there's a
Hmm.
whole lot of things that go in behind the
Yeah.
scenes to keep that stuff running.
Hmm.
But yeah, an acre and a half, that's a lot. But 26 acres, man, that's hectic. That's a
Yeah.
lot. And doing it
So
naturally, I don't know how you're going to do that. That's going to be
yeah,
interesting.
that's the most challenging part, because right now, watering is a huge problem for me. And so I have a pretty decent sized pond that I'm using just for my trees right now. But I'm testing to see which of these varieties of trees would withstand the Texas heat without having to be watered so often. And so I found a few really good ones that I was like, man, for the past few years, we went through drought for like 3 to 4 months at a time. And I planted these trees, and I mean, I was so shocked that they didn't die at the end of the year. And so from those, I'm planting more. And, one of them is those jujubes,
Yep.
like the Chinese jujubes. Those things are unkillable. I mean, I planted it in early spring as like a bare rooted tree, and then by June, we it's just stopped water at June, and then July, August, September, and so on. There's no water,
Wow.
and those trees, they made it. They made it through. So this is going into their third year, and I mean they're growing. They're developing fruits right now, and so I started to plant more. And there's a few peach trees that also did the same. My apple tree did not make it. Um, there's a few pear trees, the Korean giant pear that I grew, that made it. I don't know how, but and
I'm
so I'm
surprised. I'm
using.
surprised that those the like pears and apple trees. They're obviously the fruit is like 70-80% water, so you'd
Hmm.
expect that it would need a lot of water, and the
Hmm.
root systems don't generally go that deep until like maybe 6 years in, so it takes a while
Hmm.
to properly establish. So it's
Yeah.
got to be tough. So getting pears to actually grow, that's impressive.
Yeah. And they're finally fruiting right now, but the fruits keep dropping off, and because it's an hour from where I am, so I try to go visit the farm maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and sometimes I don't go out there for like months at a time, and these things sometimes you need to kind of water them in the summer, and I'm trying to set up rain collecting barrels out there, and
Oh,
oh,
we're
I
back.
just lost you for a second.
Yeah, no, don't worry, we'll cut that bit. I don't know what
But
happened there. My internet.
yeah, and so I tried pepper plants out there. That didn't work. I mean, it just
What,
it's
directly
just
in the
too.
ground?
Yes. But what's so shocking to me is that I planted asparagus, and they made it.
Well, their root system, because they're massive not bulb, it's like a tuber root. And
Hmm.
have you ever seen them dig up an asparagus root? That
I've
thing,
dug
it's
mine.
like the
Yeah,
size of a house. Eventually it gets so big.
it does get very big. But I didn't. I planted asparagus in the backyard, but they always get water, so I didn't realize how tough they can be. And so when I left it out in the field, 3 years already. I mean, they're the size of my pinky. They don't grow very fast because there's not enough water. But man, those things are tough.
Well, as soon as you get a proper rain, they'll just shoot up. It's
Yeah.
insane. We have a bed. The first thing I planted when we moved here, I built some raised beds. The first thing I did was asparagus. I've always wanted a nice asparagus bed,
Hmm.
and I know it takes 3 years before you can start harvesting it.
Hmm.
And man, we just get so much now. And the thing is, it comes up in winter. It comes up, in the late part of the year, the early part of the year. It comes up in, because it's meant to be June and July that it really
Hmm.
is good. But as soon as
Hmm.
there's heavy rain, within 2 days, you've got loads of this asparagus popping up. It's crazy. But yeah, I think if you establish it well, if the root system is solid, that tuber holds onto so much moisture that it keeps it alive.
Hmm.
Um, I There's a video I saw online. I didn't actually realize this, but they grow well on beaches. So sand, like sandy beaches,
Wow.
and that
Okay.
doesn't hold on to a lot of water,
Yeah.
if you can imagine, like up in the sand dunes. So
Hmm. Hmm.
um, the fact that they can hold on to any water, it means they must be good for desert climate. But yeah, oh, I love
Yeah. It
asparagus. It's good stuff.
it could be that they can absorb moisture through the air because at the ocean it's pretty.
Possibly. There's another thing you should try. I don't know if you've actually started growing them. Artichokes. Have you
Hmm.
tried that?
I, I've grown some in the backyard, but I have not grown it out on the farm yet. Maybe I should.
They grow like weeds. Honestly,
Oh
that
man.
we all week now, every single night this week, we've been eating artichokes. I had like 3 last night. We just have so many. They
Uh-huh.
just, it's the easiest plant to grow, at least here in this climate. I don't know
Okay.
how it does with lack of water, but it just does seem to grow like a weed, and it looks like the leaves look like plants that you would find in a desert climate.
Hmm.
It's not the big bright green leaves. It's a bit of a rougher leaf and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Right.
So it might be an option. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few plants that I'm trying to stress test before I take them out there. But also, I try to plant things that are not so invasive or spread so crazy. But I know that wild arugula is those things are ridiculous. You can't kill it. The tap roots go so far deep in the ground. So I mean, when you pull these things up, they look like three times the size of those how long carrots are, and you
Wow.
really have to yank them up. And they produce leaves all season. In the summertime, they're kind of bitter, but man, those things are like literally they are weeds. They grow like crazy everywhere, and the
So
seeds drop every year, so they just come back.
so don't you have the option of a well? Are there any spots
Yes,
on your land for that?
there is an option, and I'm also pretty close to the lake, so I don't think we have to drill very deep. But the thing is, right now I'm just testing, so I don't want to invest in that cost yet.
But you own the land. I mean, this is something long term
Yeah,
you're going to have to do at some point, right?
yeah. It does cost quite a bit to put a well in, and so I'll
Okay.
have to really think about it first before I do that. So I'm testing all kinds of natural things before a well is a good option. Yeah.
So what is the long term plan with the farm? Are you looking to live there? Will that ever happen?
I would live there, but my wife would not. She's a city girl, so she
Uh,
goes out there. She gets allergies, and I mean, she doesn't like bugs. She doesn't like dirt. She.
uh,
Hopefully, she'll change once the kid, all grown up and moved out.
well, I'll tell you this much, Mrs. ChilliChump. When we first met, she invited me around to her place for dinner,
Uh-huh.
and I watched her cooking. Now I'm the chef in our house now that we're married, and that I do all the cooking.
Okay.
But back then, she wanted to impress me with a meal, and she was doing some chicken dish. I think it was like stir fry. And at that time, I was watching her in the kitchen, and I was like, "What the heck is she doing?" She would not touch raw chicken. She would put gloves on to touch raw chicken. She'd also not cut raw chicken, so she'd buy it pre-cut. And I was like, "Why are you wasting your money on this?" And she explained she just can't. And now we're in a position where she's mucking out the chicken stalls. I mean, we had to put down a chicken the other day. She has no problem with helping me with that. She's out there
Wow.
gardening. She's on her hands and knees digging up the ground. She's weeding and that. I would never have said that she'd be doing that 10 years ago when we were first like dating. But now, yeah, now she's loving it. It's an adjustment, but
Yeah.
give it some time. You never know. Your missus might change your mind.
I hope so because I would like to go out there, because it's very quiet. It's close enough to the city, so you can just drive an hour and but in Texas, it's so big. Everything is about 30 to 40 minutes anyway. So when I go visit my brother, it's an hour. It's the same amount of time as if I drive out to the land. So it doesn't seem that far away.
I got to ask the question. I mean, feel free not to answer, but why did you buy a farm that was an hour away? I mean, you knew you weren't going to be moving there anytime soon, right?
Hmm.
I could imagine buying some land if it was 20 minutes down the road. You'd want to be close by because you'd want to
Hmm.
be out there. I mean, if it was me, I'd want to be out there as much as I could.
Hmm.
Why did you choose that? Was it just an investment opportunity? Is it just something that came up?
Yeah, it was an investment opportunities, but I also want something that's kind of like secluded, close enough to the city, but not too close. Good enough space. There's a lot of hunting possibilities here.
Okay.
Um, Fishing, because we have a pretty nice pond, but it's also by the lake, so it's like so where I am at the end of the road is a dead end, and that's where the lake is. So it's a few minutes away, and it's just when I didn't I wasn't expecting to buy something that size, but when I went and visit the place, I was like, man, I gotta have this.
Has it got any buildings on it, or is it just purely land at this point?
I put a shed out there so I can park my car, store things, but other than that, it's just land only.
I'm sorry if you've got videos on this. I haven't yet caught up. Like I say, I only saw your video, your
Yeah,
channel a little bit earlier. So I've subscribed. I'll be watching, catching up. I'll see it all.
but around me, people live out there. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I've met all of them. Great, great people. I mean, sometimes when I go out there, I spend most of my time talking to people than doing any work because they'll come and visit, and once they're done, and the next person come and visit, and I just spend all day talking.
Uh, that's the one thing I love about having moved out of London. So when I first was with Caroline, Mrs. ChilliChump, I lived in London. I lived in Canary Wharf, which is like it's right where all the banks and that are.
Hmm.
Um, and I lived in a small little place, no land at all. I mean, I didn't even have a place to barbecue,
Hmm.
and it's just depressing. It's very impersonable. Nobody really has time to speak or anything like that, and you don't have time because you're just working and then getting back to
Hmm.
your house and then working again, and then moving as time has gone on. I've moved further and further away from London because London is the hub. I mean,
Hmm.
that's where
Hmm.
the busiest place is. But where I am now, I'm about must be about 2 hours away from London,
Okay.
and where we are now, honestly, it's the same as what you're saying. If I take Barney out for a walk, we'll spend most of the time just chatting with people on the way around. It's just
Yeah.
it takes ages, but it's lovely. It's just so nice that the people are so friendly, especially when the sun's out.
Hmm.
When it's raining, which happens a lot in England, then yeah, you don't really speak to a lot of people. But now in the sunshine, they're
Yeah.
all inviting you in for some beers. They're always inviting you
Yeah.
around to have some food.
Uh-huh.
It's yeah, it's lovely. It is nice, isn't it?
Very, very nice. I mean, I love the people out there. I love how things are. It's quiet. People are so friendly. And I mean, I'll go out there and I'll learn history of the place. I'll learn about, the way people are farming out there. And it's just so much that, that's new to me because I'm from the city. And so I can just talk to them all day long.
So the land that you bought, was it actually farmed before?
It was. They used the place for grass. And so, in Texas, you can either use the portion of your land to kind of grow grass so that you can sell it to people who have cattle and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so part of the land was for that, and part of it was for the, of course, cattle. And so there's already fencing and everything already in place. The pond was for the cow to drink. There's a lot of trees, so there's lots of good shades, and it's flat enough. It's just nice, when I fly my drone out there, I could see the whole place, and I was like, man, this is the reason why I bought it because I'm planning to live there in the future.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I'm just fascinated. I love what you've done with it. Moving out there and making that change, and I'm excited for what you're going to experience over the next little while. It's just like the little wins mean so much. The little
Hmm.
things that you get to achieve. Even just figuring out how you're going to get water around the place. And
Hmm.
little things like that. Just it's such a feeling of achievement. So I'm excited for you. But we've ended up just talking about your farm for a while, but I'm sure people would love to hear about it because I'm sure that a lot of my viewers probably aren't aware either that you have that other channel. So hopefully you'll get a few more subscribers because I think you're
Oh,
you're
nice.
under a
Thanks.
thousand subscribers there. So yeah, I'll definitely. And also, it looks like you haven't uploaded a video for a while, so you need to make sure you get on that. Huh?
Yeah, I know that I'm slowing down quite a bit of making videos because before I used to make more because I was able to do more tests and experiments and all that stuff, and I love doing hydroponic because a lot of the viewers look for that on my channel. Hydroponic was one of the things they really enjoyed because I I took hydroponic for what it is and made it sort of like easier and simpler for people who live in small places to do their own hydroponic.
Yeah, it's your most popular
And I think,
videos, the Kratky systems that you've built out and that sort of thing. It's still, I think, people watch those daily. I'm sure you get tons of views still on that. So yeah, but so you
yeah,
just don't have
that's
the time now with the children and the farm and work and everything else.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. That the kids they always have activities on weekend. It's never my time anymore, and so I'm doing a lot of driving them around, dropping them off at soccer practice or dance or stuff like that. And so when I do things, it's much slower now because I have to record things and have to put things in order, record it, edit it. Uh, I'm trying all kinds of different things for hydroponic because in I like to do things outdoor because right now I have the backyard to do it, and so I'm trying to see how I can push hydroponic, you know, uh, to the extreme because in Texas heat is ridiculous. It gets up to 105 degrees sometimes all summer. And doing hydroponic out there in a small system, you're really cooking the plants at the bottom. And so I'm trying to find ways to farm hydroponic outside without cooking it. You know, trying different containers and all that stuff.
This is probably the biggest advice I can give. Obviously, when the nutrient levels, when the nutrient temperatures go up, you're going to have problems, right? And when you're using
Yes.
small Kratky systems or even the DWC systems,
Hmm.
they warm up so much. Right now, we're going through a bit of a heat spell. I think it's getting
Hmm.
up to like 33 degrees this coming weekend, which
Hmm.
for England is, yeah, that's hot. I mean, I think that's, what's that, 90, 95.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
but if your nutrient levels go up above 20 degrees, which is like what, 68 Fahrenheit,
Hmm.
it starts causing some issues.
Yes.
The thing is, the bigger the reservoir, the less of a
Mm.
problem you have.
Yep.
So obviously, my ebb and flood system, I'm using 800-liter tanks
Wow.
to flood those systems, and that water stays at a lovely temperature all the time, because
Hmm.
overnight it'll cool down a little bit. During the day, it'll raise a couple of degrees, but not so bad. The DWC system and those small, I think they're like 16-liter pots,
Hmm.
those pots are heating up like 7, 8 degrees during the day, and then dropping down
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 degrees at night. I can't
Hmm.
get them to stay below 20 degrees Celsius. I know I'm going
Hmm.
to have problems as it gets warmer now. When we have a week or two of just hot weather,
Hmm.
my root systems are not going to be very happy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, bigger
So
reservoirs.
absolutely, the larger the reservoir, like you said, I'm trying these 65-gallon trash bins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the problem with that is I can't move them. It's so heavy. Once you place them there, that's it. You can't move it. And on top of that, when the plants get really big, it adds so much root to the mass. I mean, it makes it even heavier. And so wherever I put it, it has to stay there. And sometimes my wife come out and say, "Move that thing! It's such a mess." And so I couldn't move it because it's so heavy. And so
Are your
yeah, that's
trash
one.
bins on wheels?
Yeah, they are in wheel, but when you have that much water in it,
Oh, yeah.
the
Wow.
wheels, yeah, it's really tough to move them.
Are you
And
doing just standard DWC in those containers?
yes, yeah.
So I've been considering recycle or RDWC. So that's
Hmm.
recirculating DWC, which
Hmm.
kind of to me feels a little bit like a mix between ebb and flood and DWC. But I
Hmm.
think that could be quite useful if you use hose lock clips, or sort of hoses that you can clip on and off,
Hmm.
and then you can move the reservoirs around. You can move the pots around, and then because it's
Yeah.
circulating, it just means you do need to have another pump. But because it's
Yeah.
circulating, you at least cool the temperatures down.
Hmm.
So that might be an option. I don't know. That's one of the systems I want to test next year. So this year I'm doing the three systems: the NFT, DWC, and ebb and flood. Next
Hmm.
year, of course, I'll still do ebb and flood because I've got a massive system for that. But I want to do the RDWC, and then
Hmm.
I'd absolutely love to do aquaponics. I'd love to do it.
Oh,
I
yes.
know it's not gonna do great for chilies. I just I've I've done enough research on this that
Hmm.
it's nearly impossible to do it without supplementing the nutrients.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get enough coming through. But I still want to do it. I just love the idea, the whole concept of it being a 360 system, right? Where it's
Hmm.
everything is there for a purpose. All you're doing is you're feeding the fish, and then everything else is just done.
Hmm.
So we'll see. I probably will build a small system, but like I've done with NFT this year, I'll just use maybe I'll just grow greens like lettuces and cabbages
Hmm.
and things like that. So we'll test that
I've
out.
looked at those in the past, and I've seen many, many videos on aquaponics. And yeah, you're right. It's not going to be enough for chilies. I've seen them grow tomatoes. They never look very healthy.
No,
It's just the nutrients is not enough. And the chilies they're heavy feeder. Tomatoes too. I think
yeah,
they're great for greens like lettuce and herbs and stuff like that. Those are fine. But for like fruiting plants like tomatoes and stuff like that, I've never seen a healthy one in an aquaponic system. I guess maybe the ones I've saw are only on YouTube. I haven't seen anything else.
well, I mean, there's a lot of research out there, a lot of scientific papers on this as well, where they've done some testing on this, because
Mhm.
it would be an ideal system if you could get it to work properly, right?
Mhm.
Because you also get to have fish to eat at the end of it. So not only are you doing serious growing for the vegetation, but you
Mhm.
also have protein at the end of it as well. So
Yeah.
from a purely scientific point of view, if you could master it and you could
Mhm.
grow something sufficiently, it'd be a great way to set up a farm. For
Mhm.
you to actually make a lot of money if you could get it right.
Mhm.
But in all the papers I've read, they just have way too many challenges. It never works out to be as not as efficient, but you're not going to make as much money doing it that way that you would just using even a typical hydroponic system or even just growing
Hmm.
in soil. It's just
Yeah.
it does not work out well. But I still like to do it. I still want to do it. I think even if I'm not doing it for profit, I just want to do it because it looks like fun. The other one I'd love to do is aeroponics. Obviously, our friend, I don't know if you've spoken to him lately, but Peter Stanley, he loves his
Yes,
aeroponics.
Peter. Uh-huh.
So I'd like to do a proper aeroponic system as well.
Hmm.
But I still a little bit cautious on that one because again, I work with drippers for my main system, and I know what a
Hmm.
pain in the backside that can be to keep those clean.
Hmm.
I can just imagine now if you use an aeroponics, the emitters, unless you have amazing filters that you're cleaning like all the
Hmm.
time, those emitters are going to get blocked up at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can tell even in regular system like my AeroGarden, the nutrients calcified up so easily, and it'll clog up everything. And so it requires constant cleaning. If you don't clean it, it's going to clog.
So a little trick I have, but you can't do this in aeroponics or hydroponics even,
Mm-hmm.
is like with my soil plants. I whenever I feed through my drippers, I'll
Mm-hmm.
always run a cycle of clean water straight after.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always measure how much feed I'm giving it during a cycle, and
Mm-hmm.
then I would make sure I just adjust it with the fresh water that's coming in as well, so I have the right amount of feed. But the fresh
Mm-hmm.
water clears out that salt. If I didn't, like in the past, it would just be
Mm-hmm.
one big salty mess. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. By the end of the season, you're replacing all the drippers. But I haven't had to
Yeah.
replace drippers now for 3 years. It's been brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah. Most people, if you're running drippers, you're going to be replacing those drippers at least once every 2 years. But yeah, with mine, yeah, they're running nice and clean. I maybe have to clean them out a little bit now and then, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
other than that, works great. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to keep on experimenting. It's good fun, but I see what you mean. You got to find it a little frustrating because you're compared to your farm, your property where you are now is small, right? So
very, very, yeah.
you're limited with the experiments you can run and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at the moment, do you still have a lot of space, or have the kids taken over the space? For your tents and things like that.
Yeah, the tents, I still have them there, but I haven't been able to do much with it because, I need a lot of time to do those experiments. And growing hydroponic indoors, you do kind of have to have some times to change the nutrients, adjust certain things, make sure the light is correct, and it's just a lot. And on top of that, our garages get really, really hot on top of the Texas heat. Oh man, the chili plants really, really struggle. And so there's certain varieties of plants that I can only grow in the summer. The super hots would just not do well at all. But the Thai peppers, I don't know, they don't care.
I've started to realize. I mean, it's funny when you've been growing chilies as long as we have. You start noticing certain things that just kind of make sense. Like the chili plants with the small leaves are going to do well in the sunshine, right? The smaller the
Yep,
leaf, that
yep,
means it can handle it. So things like the bird's
yep.
eye, the peri peri, that sort of thing. The
Hmm.
smaller the leaf, the more direct sunlight it can take. Whereas the
Yes,
bigger
yes.
leaf plants, like the capsicum chinense, you're going to have some challenges. That's why they battle to fruit at this time of year. I mean, I'm getting leaf drop a lot at the moment.
Hmm.
They just really are battling, but the plants are growing, so I'm not too upset. But they definitely, yeah, with the heat that you have, that must be nearly impossible. Same as with pubescence and
Hmm.
Bactum, I guess. Bactum like a little bit cold, so I
Yes.
guess you have problems with those too.
Yeah, and you're yes, definitely those. The larger leaves are of course the chinense, the pachytum, definitely really tough in this type of heat because, again, they prefer the cooler months. And the Thai chilies, I mean, I'm growing it in. Sometimes when I grow them in my hydro system, I don't check pH. I don't change nutrients. I keep adding and I keep adding. And that's a bad thing because the nutrients is all out of balance after you add it so many times. But the Thai chilies, or the annuums, they seem to not care at all. Even when the leaves are struggling, you can tell they change color, but they still fruit. And it's amazing, how they can adapt into such stressful conditions. But as for the, like the chinense and stuff like that. As soon as something out of balance, they drop everything.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I was doing a video today that's going to go out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So my video for tomorrow, I don't know if you saw on Instagram, I posted a little clip of a bit of drama that I had yesterday. I had a beautiful cayenne plant in my hydro system that was just growing way too quickly, and I didn't support it quick enough. And this branch fell off. It had about a kg and a half. So what's it, about 2 pounds of chilies on this already,
Wow.
and it just snapped off the entire branch with all these beautiful chilies. It's
I saw
the
that. I saw
worst
that
thing.
post.
So yeah, it's not clickbait, but it is kind of clickbait. That'll be the thumbnail tomorrow. You'll see it. But
Yeah,
it's funny. It's funny how this works. I post up things all the time on Instagram. Well, all the time. I don't post up too much, but when I post stuff up, it's normally just, hey, look at this beautiful plant. Look at this lovely flower. Look, it's that sort of thing.
uh-huh.
And you get a little bit of interest. People are, yeah, nice, and I hope things are going well. And there you go. As soon as you post up something where there's a problem or you've screwed up or something, man, all the comments come in, and the views. That thing has about 4 times the views of any of my other posts over the last 6 months. It's insane. People love to see you fail, I think it is, or they love to see you have a challenge.
Yeah, I think also they may be facing the same thing, and they're looking to you for a solution.
I like your optimism, but I don't think that's it. I think they like to see ChilliChump fail. So, see, it's not always working out. Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't always work out. This is the whole thing, right? It's trial and error. We've got to have failures, else we're never going to learn anything.
Yeah, we have a
Uh,
lot of wind where I am, and it does
oh,
snap my branches every once in a while. I mean, when my chili plants get too tall, it'll snap it and it'll break a very beautiful plant. And sometimes I'll try to pull it up and tape it back, and sometimes it works. If you do it correctly, it'll work.
well, I think it was your last video, or the video before the last one was about grafting. You've got a plant. I think you've
Oh,
grafted 3 different ones in there. It looks awesome.
I have one right
Is that
here.
there?
I was
Oh,
gonna
there you
show
go.
you. Yes. And
is
so
this
the,
is this to show me what I should have done with my plant to get the branch back on?
exactly, maybe. And so this has been around for a while now. This is an annuum at the bottom, and at the
Yeah.
top is a chinense variety. It's a chocolate primo tally.
Oh wow.
And so I grafted onto here. This part stopped growing because I allowed the original plant grew too much. And so what I had to do was I had to cut everything at the bottom off so the energy can focus on the new graft, and it's growing right now since I did the
Wow.
video.
That's beautiful. I,
And
I
then I
I've
had
I've never grafted. I've never done it. I don't know. I get. I'm pretty funny with these things. When I saw the branch on the floor, I'm kind of like a little kid. It's like, well, screw you then. It's such a disappointing thing to see that there. I didn't want to graft it on. There's still some of the plant left on there, and it will recover, and I'll get something from it. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I got to try grafting because it looks fun. The videos
you,
that you've done on it.
you can graft, or you can just propagate it. Look at this. This is my propagation. You see that? This is a branch that broke off, or I cut it off. I
Well,
just
that's
dropped
another
it.
suggestion that people
Yeah,
were giving me. Just go stick it in
yeah.
into my hydro system, but I
It
just didn't
works.
have the space. So that just rooted. I
Yeah.
found so it's quite interesting. We were talking about. I think we talked about this the last time we spoke as well. Just the people always arguing with you online with when you're showing them this is how this works, and there you go. So one of the things was when I pot up a plant, I'll pot it
Hmm.
up and I'll drop it below the soil level to get it to root above where the
Hmm.
roots exist at the moment. So
Hmm.
when you get a leggy plant and you want to solve that, just bury it deeper and it will root out.
Hmm.
And people were then arguing, say, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't happen with chilies. It's like, well, it does, like you've just proven. I mean, it wouldn't root
Yeah.
like that if it didn't. But it doesn't work with every plant. So I did some testing last year. It doesn't work with every
Hmm.
species. Some species, it will not root if you bury it deeper. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you found that at all?
I haven't tried that, but I did notice that some plants will root once you bury it. But I really haven't looked.
I did an
Because that's
experiment because I got these
yeah.
comments on one of the videos where I was saying, this is the solution. If you have leggy plants, don't worry about it. You can solve it once you get the proper light into it. Just bury it deeper.
Hmm.
Same as with tomatoes. That's what you do with
Yeah.
tomatoes. And there were enough people in the comments say, "Oh, it doesn't work." I was like, "But it does work. I've done this for years and years." But then I did test it, and I was like, "Well, actually, I see why they're saying it doesn't work. Because some plants it won't. Some
Hmm.
species it actually doesn't start rooting, or it's very minimal rooting." And you'll notice it especially if you're propagating your chilies in a very humid environment, and you
Hmm.
notice sometimes you've got a little bit of rooting happening in the air. So sometimes the
Hmm.
roots will start popping out just above where the soil is.
Hmm.
Those are
Hmm.
obviously plants that will root very readily,
Hmm.
whereas some others they just won't. They just won't do that. And yeah, I
Hmm.
was doing some testing like that. I need to make notes of my findings there, but there definitely were some species, some varieties that just would not root. So it's
That's
quite
good to
interesting.
know because I think I've only tried rooting chinense and annuum varieties. I haven't tried anything else, and they always work.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to do a proper experiment. Just again, time, right? I mean, that's I don't have kids, but believe me, I have a lot of things taking up a lot of my time.
But for grafting, the grafting part, you can graft any varieties onto any variety because I've tested all and they
That's
work.
awesome. I got to try it out. I have this friend over in Australia who's always doing these little experiments, and it's
Hmm.
kind of nice because it's normally when he's doing it, it's my winter, so it's his summer, and he's showing me all these cool things that gets me excited about projects I want to try. And one of the things he does is grafting, and he's got some massive trees. So he had this idea, with apple trees, for example, you use a like a dwarf rootstock
Hmm.
or something like that. You'd use an old rootstock that you'd then cut another variety of apple on top of that, so
Hmm.
that you have a stronger growing plant.
Hmm.
So he had the same idea. What if you have something that roots very well, like the
Hmm.
capsicum chinense? They tend to have really lovely root systems,
Hmm.
and then put on another plant that sometimes battles, like a wild variety or something like that. And he did
Hmm.
it quite successfully. It was an interesting concept. But I think that should work. If it's grafting
Hmm.
successfully, it's going to be pulling the moisture from the root system, right? So if the root system is big, then you're going to have a successful plant. So yeah,
Yeah,
interesting to try.
that's the idea. And when you graft, the crazy thing is if you graft in hydroponic, it always works.
Yeah.
I tested one plant in soil versus the hydroponic, and for some reason, the hydroponic plants is always uh, you always get better success. I think because the water flows so much better.
Well, it's the
Because
oxygen
sometimes,
levels, right?
yes, and
It's probably
because
that.
what I notice is sometimes you cut your plant in hydroponic, you can see water drip out of it. Have you seen those? And I think that's the reason why it's always a good success because there's always something flowing. There's
Well,
nothing inhibiting it.
so I mean, I'm not spoiling anything because the video is going out tomorrow, but
Hmm.
and this podcast will be going out a little bit after. So when this branch broke, I was actually in the polytunnel. I was standing right next to it. I saw it happen. I didn't
Hmm.
touch it. I wasn't anywhere near it, and I saw it snap and break off. And when it broke off, it's exactly what you're saying. Water was coming out where the thing broke off. And I
Yeah.
was like, "What the hell?" It was really weird. I've never seen it like that. Normally, I see it. Obviously, it bubbles up a little bit, but this was
Hmm.
actually coming out. There was water flowing down the stem, which
Yeah.
was
That's.
crazy. I think it was a very hot day. The obviously it's transpiring, so it's
Hmm.
pulling water constantly.
Hmm.
And yeah, and obviously when it broke, it just carried on trying to push water, right? So yeah, it was so upsetting. I was standing there. I was busy mixing up some nutrients and testing
Hmm.
my reservoir, and I just heard crack, crack, clack, and then it just
Oh wow.
on the ground. I'm like, no.
So much weight with all the pods it has on there. I think
Yeah, honestly, it's like 2 pounds of pods on there. It's crazy for
that's
this
so
time of year.
crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about YouTube because I'm always fascinated. I love talking to other YouTubers. You've been doing this longer than I have. I think I mentioned I was a bit fanboy with you the last time, but when you were this massive chili channel. I hadn't even started my channel. I used to watch you, And then my channel started growing, and even then I was like 1,000 subscribers, and still be amazed watching your videos and that. And now I'm still way smaller than you, but it's funny. It's just funny how things move on and how things adapt. Do you still feel like a YouTuber? I mean, what do your kids say? I mean, they obviously must know now. They must understand what their dad does, right? But what do they say about it?
They don't quite understand yet, but
No.
my baby girl, she asked, "Hey, can I be in your video?" And I said, "You're too young for that. I can't put you out there, you know." And she's so disappointed because she wanted to be in the video. But after all these years of making YouTube, I don't really tell people that I have a channel. And so at work, it took them a long time for someone to finally say, "Hey, I saw you on YouTube." And then after that, it's just everyone at work knows about it, or like friends of mine. I don't tell them either. And sometimes they're like, "Hey, I know someone that said that you had a channel, so I looked you up. How come you didn't tell me?" Like, I don't know.
I don't share it. I mean, on my private Facebook and my private
Yeah,
LinkedIn, there's no mention of me doing chili stuff. I mean, I'm
yeah.
not only doing the YouTube, but I'm also obviously running a chili business.
Hmm.
I don't tell people, and it's not because I'm embarrassed or anything. I just, I'm not going to shove it down people's throats. I don't want people feeling obligated to watch my channel. Oh, I'm
Right.
watching your videos, or I'll buy your hot sauce. I just don't want them feeling like that. They would. With my work, it was the same thing. I try to keep it separate because I was kind of in the sales side of things,
Hmm.
so I was dealing with high profile clients,
Hmm.
and the last thing I wanted is to go into a client's sales meeting, and then the entire meeting is like, "I saw you on YouTube," and then you're sitting there talking about chilies for the rest of the session. It doesn't help anything. So I try to keep it separate there. It did actually get out to same as you. Somebody figured it out at work,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then everybody suddenly knows about it. But I don't preach about it. I mean, it's
Yeah. For me, I think I was a little shy to tell people about it. That, like, man, this guy's doing YouTube also. I don't know how I would, and every once in a while, because a few weeks ago I was picking up my kids at school, and I was walking out. I'm always dressed with my hat like this, so everyone sees me, and it's almost like a signature look for this pepper guy. And so across the street, someone said, "Hey, are you that pepper guy?" I was like, I looked around. It's me. And then he came. He's like, "Hey, I watched your channel," and I was like, "Wow, okay, thanks." And I don't know what to say.
I never
It's
know
like
what to say.
I'm either too shy or too shocked, or like, oh man, people, they, I don't know. I guess they watch the channel and they know who I was.
I it's quite funny. I think you probably are similar, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm actually an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. I mean, I'm not comfortable with being in the limelight, and that's weird to say when you're making videos like we do.
Yeah.
I'm doing a video a week or whatever it is.
Hmm.
I want to share stuff. I want to share my passion. I want to be able to touch people's lives with what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know that you have to play the game a little bit with YouTube. If you
Hmm.
didn't have your face on screen, people aren't going to um, they're not going to be able to connect with you. So
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
have to do it.
Yes.
Thankfully, I've got better and better at presenting on
Hmm.
YouTube, because if I look at my old videos, wow. but but people assume that you have this big personality on YouTube, that must
Hmm.
be how you are in real life. I'm so quiet in real life, man. I find it draining to be in public situations. And when somebody
Yeah.
comes up to me and says, "Are you ChilliChump?" Um, I'm kind of tempted to say,
Yeah.
"No, I don't know who you mean."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I agree with you because my channel for the longest time, people was like, "I only see your hands," because
they
I
want to
mean,
see you.
yeah, for
Yeah,
for many years, my video was just me doing things. They only see my hands and the way I talk. And sometimes when I go back to my earlier videos, I was like, "Oh my God, is that me?" It was how did people watch me back then? It's so boring. And
It's
it
crazy.
it does take time for you to get more comfortable. But what I find that works best for me is I do it out of my passion of of loving chilies and doing things and sharing my ideas with people. And so that's what drives me. I like to help people, and I like to
And that's
just
why people love watching you. They see that passion come through, and I think that's YouTube has changed a lot, even in the 2 years since we've last spoke, or 2 or 3 years even. YouTube's changed a lot.
Mhm.
There's so much AI, scripts, AI, video, AI, everything, AI voices. It's going to get
Mhm.
worse.
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
the little bright light at the end of the tunnel there is that people still want that real connection.
Mhm.
And when you're able to present like you do, and when you're able to put across your passion like that, people will still connect with you. And I'm hoping that'll be the case as well here. I never went
Mhm.
down the road of shorts. They're doing the
Mhm.
YouTube shorts.
Mhm.
I tried doing a couple in the beginning. It's not my thing. I'm here to tell a story. I'm here to share what I'm doing. I can't do that in a short. I just feel like you're trying to game the system doing that.
Uh-huh.
Same thing with TikTok. I'm so bad at TikTok. I post up a couple things there. I don't care. But I know that some of my audience are on there. They don't want to go on Instagram or Facebook, so that's where they're going
Yeah.
to get their stuff. So okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Same
don't
for
know.
me.
I mean, are you going down that road as well? I mean, I saw you did do some shorts, but you still do
I
the
I
longer
try
form
I
video.
try to do some shorts because people like it. Um, you know, I think people's attention span is really short these days. It's like a minute or less. If it's more than that, it's just too much. And for what I'm trying to do, experiments and explaining the entire process, how you can achieve the results. I can't do it in a few seconds because there's so much that's going to be left out. And so a lot of my videos were like 10, 12 minutes, and I think that's just too much for so many people these days.
I I don't let it stop you from doing that.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your channel, but I think people are going to come around. I kind of see it like things like TikTok and shorts and reels and things like that are like snacks, unsatisfying snacks. And what we're doing are the meals, right? And I feel it from my perspective. If I watch TikTok and it's just doom scrolling. It's so unsatisfying, especially now. I don't know if you watch TikTok much, but I find it's dangerous. It is seriously dangerous because you just
Yes.
an hour's gone by, and if you had to think back on that last hour, how much of what you just watched are you going to remember? How much of what you just watched was actually entertaining or got a
Hmm.
laugh out of you? Maybe one or two little videos,
Hmm.
but you keep on because you're waiting for the next one.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
find that if I move off TikTok and then I go and watch something on YouTube and I watch a 20-minute video, I enjoy things like uh, movie reviews and things
Hmm.
like that. There's
Hmm.
some funny channels out there for that sort of
Uh-huh.
thing. I watch that and it's just so much more fulfilling. You're connecting with
Hmm.
that person. You're enjoying the content, and it just feels good. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the case with our sort of videos. That they will be
Hmm.
those ones that people go to because they want to enjoy a meal and
Hmm.
they're tired of those little snacks. So yeah, I've actually started making my videos a little bit longer.
Uh-huh.
I know it's going against the grain, like you say. People's attention spans are so low,
Hmm.
uh, but I've tried to change the pacing a little bit. The intro, I've tried to make sure there's a hook. I
Hmm.
don't introduce myself anymore. People, honestly, you watch their retention. If I say, "Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Sean, also known as ChilliChump, and I love chilies," I've just spent 5 seconds saying something that a new person to my channel does not care about, right?
Uh-huh.
And the people that are on my channel because they like what they see and they've subscribed to me, they know who I
Hmm.
am. They know what I do.
Uh-huh.
So I just go straight into it. Today we're going to talk about this. Done. And
Hmm.
the retention's better, but I do find it difficult. I just want to do the old school, the old videos that we used to do, where it's like, come with me. I'm going to show you around my greenhouse. That's it, right?
Yes.
If it
Yeah.
if it takes an hour, it takes an hour. Nobody's going to watch it, but hey,
I know that's those are the days. Right now is just you have to, if you want your channel to grow, you just have to gonna do those kind of things. But I just don't like those kind of things. So that's why I think my channel slowed down quite a bit. It's just, the format is not what people are looking for. They want it short, quick, and right to the point. And some of the things that we're doing, like showing you how to grow hydroponic, I can't do that in 5-10 seconds.
No, but people do. You see the stuff on TikTok, and it's just there's so little information that they're actually telling you. Oh, you just do this, this, this. Okay, it's
Yeah.
done. There, you got a hydroponic plant. I was like, whoa, excuse me, you haven't taught me anything.
Yes, I've seen those videos, and it kind of upsets me because some of the information that are so important is all left out. And so people realize that when they start to do it, it's like, hey, it's not working. I was like, of course it's not working. The most important information is not in there. You're just seeing the pictures.
Well, my favorite was I saw one the other day where they're saying, "Oh, you don't need to listen to these guys on YouTube." And I think they flashed up a video. It was me. I think they flashed up a video of something I was showing in one of my videos. I
No
think
way.
yours was shown as well, and there was a
Oh
few
my
others too.
gosh.
Mi Gardner and a few
Uh,
others. You don't need to listen to these guys. All you need is this. And they showed Miracle Grow and Epsom salts, right? And they were mixing Miracle Grow and Epsom salts, and they were sticking in a jar, and they were growing basically kratky.
uh,
It's like they weren't telling you how much to put in. They
uh,
were just like, I mean, it looked like he put in a tablespoon of Miracle Grow into this tiny little jar,
mhm.
which if you did, it would just kill the plant. It's just, how is the person learning anything? But they're saying, oh, you don't need to listen to these guys. They're going to waste your time. This is how you do it. It's the cheapest way.
Yeah,
You've already got it in your cupboard. It's Miracle Grow and it's Epsom salts.
yeah.
Okay.
And you know what else drives me crazy? There's these other channels that does everything fake. And
Oh,
so, there's a bunch of, because I grow a ton of aloe. I mean, I've been growing aloes forever, and I've stress tested aloe. I've done all kinds of experiments with aloe, and I know what works and what would not. There's this channel that does aloe where they cut the leaves and then cut into chunks and put in soil, and then it shows at the end a totally different plant that's not even the one they planted. Say, look, you can clone aloe this way, and like, there's millions of views, hundreds of thousands of shares, and I was like, you have misled so many people to think that this is possible.
there's so
and and
much of
then
that. Oh,
and when people try it, they know that they're gonna find out it's not gonna work because you cannot clone propagate aloe that way.
yeah. It by that time they've got their view. They don't care. They aren't
Yeah.
doing it because they actually want to educate. They're doing it because what's going to get the view. I
Yes.
don't want to go down that road. It's tempting because YouTube it's kind of gamified, right? Like
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
upload a video and then you're watching, like, is it going to be a 1 of 10? Nope, 10 of 10. Damn it. But you're watching for that. And
Yeah.
it's just it's that endorphin rush, that little hit that you get when you actually have a video that does well. And it's
Hmm.
partly because, we're driven guys. You aren't going to be doing what you do for as long as you've done if you're not driven, if you're not, ambitious.
Hmm.
But it's just I'm not going to go down that road. I don't want to get that 1 of 10 under any circumstance. It's
Yeah.
got to be for the right reasons, right? Make a good video. Make sure that you've researched the hell out of it. Make sure that you've
Hmm.
experimented. Make sure that you've got your own information across there. And you know, if I get a 1 out of 10, then it's so much more satisfying.
Absolute. And to go back to, I think you might have asked me this before, how why did I start a YouTube channel? And one of the reasons was because I was trying to do something that, and I need to look it up. And so, for example, this guy was propagating apple trees, for example, just one example. And they're like, okay, cut the branch, stick it in soil. That's how you propagate apple. But did it work? Where's the result? I don't see it. I mean, and so when you try it, you fail. That's misleading. If your video didn't work, you need to take it off, remove it, even though you have so many views, because that did not work. And so if you leave it out there, people are going to be misled thinking that it will work, so they'll try it, and it doesn't work. You wasted their time. And so, if you do, that's why I do my videos from start to end, because I want you to see the beginning, but I also want you to see the end. And if there's the results of doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work, or I just remove the video completely, because you know it really upsets me because you wasted so much of my time to find out that this thing that I'm doing here is not working, or it would never work.
Yeah,
And
and it's tough. People don't realize how difficult that is when you're doing those long-term experiments.
Hmm.
You know, like I do the fermentations of hot sauces and things like that.
Hmm.
That's at least a 3-month process each time. I have
Hmm.
to film at the start of that. I have to remember where that footage is, remember where I was with it, and then when I start filming the rest of it, when I'm processing it, I have to keep
Yeah.
that all together because I want to release the video all at once.
Hmm. Hmm.
Whereas some other people might show a filming of the start of it, then they
Yes.
show halfway through, and then they do another video at the end. By that
Uh-huh.
time, they've forgotten everything from the beginning. They don't even know where that video is. So
Yes.
yeah, it is important to try and do that whole thing. I get comments, I'm sure you do as well, where people appreciate seeing everything
Hmm.
all in order. So you got the start, you got the result. It's just, yeah, you got to do it that way. You got to respect the audience. I think that's it, right?
Yes, that's it. You said it. You hit it right on the head. You have to respect the audience because their time should matter to you. Because if you're misleading people, they're gonna come back with hate. Because there's these videos, as I mentioned, where they trying to propagate a persimmon tree. And I was like, okay, I have a bunch of persimmons. Maybe I can try to propagate it too. So let me look up videos because YouTube, you can find whatever. You can find everything on YouTube. So I searched it. There's a ton of videos saying that you can propagate persimmon, but none of the videos shows the result. And so I said, okay, there's no result. So what now? I'm gonna read the comments. And so I'm reading down the comments. I mean, after about an hour of reading all these videos and comments and stuff, there's a reply say, "Oh, all of it failed." I'm like, why didn't you take off the video from the internet instead of, now you're wasting so many people's time. You wasted my time because I had to find out if it worked or not before I could try it.
I would feel so guilty if I put a video out there and the information I
Yes,
was putting across wasn't right.
absolutely. I would feel so guilty. And why would you have to, just leave it there because there's a lot of views? You should take it off because you know that didn't work. Because if you leave it there, people are going to try it because they're
Even
thinking.
because I've seen other channels where they'll go and they make another video and say, "Oh, I did this video before and it actually didn't work, and I just want to let you know." Well, then take it off. Don't leave it on
Yes,
because
that's what
people
I'm
aren't going
saying.
to. They're not going to find that video that you've just said it didn't work when they're searching
Yes,
how to propagate persimmon, right?
that's exactly my point. Take it off so that this misleading information is not spread all over the place, or
Ugh,
people are thinking like, oh, he did it, but he did it because it didn't work.
it's crazy. Listen, my friend, I know that you need to get back to work. It's the end of day for me, but it's still you've still got quite a few hours left of your day. But it's been amazing talking with you again. I absolutely love talking to you. I don't know why we waited so long again this time.
But yes,
Uh,
absolutely. I'm a huge fan of your channel. I love what you're doing. You're living the dream
uh,
what I want to do.
we're trying to. Yeah, no, I'm very fortunate. I love what I do. I shouldn't complain. Even a bad season is still it's still a lot of fun for me.
It's a learning
So
experience too.
absolutely, 100%. But I want to get you onto a live stream again. We'll do it in maybe a few weeks' time when we got some pods. Maybe we do a bit of a pod eating thing on a live stream.
I have a few really
You got some
interesting
primatali
plans.
chocolates.
Yeah,
That's why I
I
thought.
have that, and I also have my super pekins. Oh man, those things
Oh,
are like little firecrackers. They're my own cross.
talking of which, before we say goodbye here, if you got any other seeds that you want to send over, because I hope you know I'm not selling. I would never sell your seeds. I've been growing them out, and then they've been included in orders, so they're spreading around the world. I've shipped out now about 4,000 packs of your seeds
Oh
with my
yes,
orders.
I
So
should get you some. I have a few really nice ones that I really enjoy myself. So I'll see if I can get a bunch of seeds to you, so you can give it to your audience.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I'll keep growing them out. I'll keep including them in my seed orders and do giveaways for them and that sort of thing. I just want to get them out there, get more people growing. It's quite funny when they get them in their pack because I don't mention it. It's not mentioned on my website or anything that I
Hmm.
send these out for free. So when they get them as a surprise, then I get an email soon after. It's like, oh, what's this variety? And then I have to explain who Kangstarr is. Like, oh, I watch him on YouTube. I'm like, well, then you should know what this is. Yeah, no, it's awesome. If you
Yeah.
got any others, please, I'd love to get some more seeds from you. Even if you got, so obviously I've got some that are stable. Your KS
Mhm.
Lemon Starburst, I've got a lovely variety of that,
Mhm.
and I've got a few others. Your Sweet Queenie, but I
Mhm.
think a couple of yours that you sent me that I think were like F5s, F4s. So if you've got any others that are stable of those
Mhm.
same varieties, more than happy to receive them. Love to grow them next year.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm glad you're spreading them. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. And I'll have to send you some of my crosses. I've got a super art cross that I'm really proud of. I'm going to F7 this year, so it'll be fully
Mhm.
stable. That's my KS, the CC Jigsaw Brain. So I
Oh
took,
man,
yeah, it's a jigsaw cross with a brain strain. It's awesome. It's such a nice chili, and it's so hot. It's so bad.
now that you have your hydroponic system, you can stabilize it quickly. I think
That's part of the intention here. I wanna grow in smaller hydro systems
mm,
to just quickly get a cycle going. I want to do 2 or 3 cycles a year. That would be
yeah,
nice. Really get them stabilized quickly. So
man, that'd be an interesting topic to talk about.
stabilizing, yeah. Well, I
Yes,
haven't done a video on crossing for quite a while, so it might be a good opportunity to maybe go
yeah.
into that. Speeding up stabilization.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you go, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me on this. I really do appreciate your time. Thanks, Khang. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer in a future episode, you can leave me a voice note on WhatsApp at 07354 201 043 or get in touch through my website at chillichump.com/contact. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll chat again soon. Until then, stay spicy.